What exactly is official condolences?
It's a
Right.
condolences on behalf of the United States government.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up, Chuck. Matt, whatever his name
Why
is.
does it say that? This is like official condolences means absolutely nothing, and I'm not even sure why you're offering condolences if this guy was as bad as you.
Right? Did we offer condolences to Iraq when they hung Saddam Hussein? I mean,
He
just
was.
ask.
Look,
Why? I mean,
because we regret any loss of life. We don't want to see people die in helicopter crashes. It doesn't change our view of him, our view of the
really,
regime.
there
But
is not one person that you can think of that the United States.
Right? You don't want to take anybody from the Congo. You don't want to take anybody from Egypt. You don't want to take anybody from Bosnia, Herzegovina, any warlords, any genocidal maniacs that you want to throw into that helicopter. You know, if I was the United States, I'd say, you know what? I wish they would have had the Shah, the clerics, and the Ayatollah in there as well. And we just would have had a 5-for-1 special. I mean, come on. Is there any clear example of the pussification of generational change in the United States as this old salt reporter who's fantastic and should be in the White House newsroom, and this guy? Like, give me a break.
You want to see in an air accident?
There
Really?
were people on board that aircraft who have families. We thought that's an appropriate step to take. It's the step the United States government has taken when any number of foreign leaders with whom we had vehement disagreements have died.
Great. I wonder if you went ahead to the tens and thousands of people that were oppressed and murdered by the Butcher of Tehran, as he was known, and called those families and offered your condolences as well. Human rights record is not very strong with Iran and the United States. We'll talk about it. 15 minutes. We'll be right back.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more f***ed up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends.
Did I say 15 minutes? 15 seconds. The show is probably going to be 8 or 9 minutes. Stillpoint, STIILPOINT, the Don't Unfriend Me band. We love them, and you should listen to them on iTunes. Let's get to it, because this is this one kind of hits close to home. The recent helicopter crash that claimed the life of Iran's president, Ibrahim Raisi, alongside their foreign minister and other members of their delegation, has sparked a wave of reactions worldwide. However, one response stands out not only for its inappropriateness, but also for its sheer audacity. The Biden administration's decision to issue condolences to the Iranian regime is nothing short of a disgrace. It is a betrayal of American values and a slap in the face to the countless victims of Raisi's brutal regime. Ibrahim Raisi, often referred to as the Butcher of Tehran, earned this moniker through decades of heinous actions. His record is marred by the blood of thousands of Iranians who fell victim to his ruthless policies. From the mass executions of political prisoners in 1988 to his role in the violent suppression of protests in recent years, Raisi's hands are stained with the blood of innocents. His ascent to the presidency was not through democratic means, but rather through a rigged election that left the Iranian people voiceless and oppressed. In light of this, the Biden administration's statement of condolences is not just inappropriate, it is morally indefensible. How can the leader of the free world offer condolences to a man who embodied tyranny and terror? It is a question that has left many Americans, myself included, shaking our heads in disbelief. The State Department's press release, which read, "The United States expresses its official condolences for the death of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, Foreign Minister, blah, 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 and other members of their delegation in a helicopter crash in northwest Iran," is a stark reminder of the administration's misguided priorities. The statement went on to say, as Iran selects a new president, installs a new president, we reaffirm our support for the Iranian people and their struggle for human rights and fundamental freedoms. This is a hollow gesture given the administration's track record of turning a blind eye to Iran's human rights abuses and its support for terrorism. Let's not forget who we are dealing with here. Iran's government officials routinely chant death to America and openly support and fund terrorist groups that target American citizens and our allies. This is the same regime that has fueled conflicts across the Middle East, contributing to the destabilization of the region and suffering of millions. Offering condolences to such a regime is not just misguided, it's an affront to the values we hold dear. Moreover, this administration's response is particularly galling when we consider how it has handled the deaths of Americans. Where were the swift condolences for the American lives lost in recent conflicts? Why does it seem that the administration is more eager to placate a hostile regime than to honor its own citizens who have paid the ultimate price? This double standard is not only frustrating, but also deeply troubling. The Biden administration's approach to Iran has been marked by a dangerous naivety. From its attempts to revive the flawed Iran nuclear deal to its leniency in the face of Iran's provocative actions, it is clear that this administration is more interested in appeasement than in holding Iran accountable. Issuing condolences for Raisi's death is just the latest example of this misguided approach. The reality is that Raisi's death should not be mourned by any champion of human rights and freedom. Instead, it should be seen as an opportunity for the Iranian people to rise up and demand real change. For too long, they have suffered under the yoke of a regime that has denied them their basic rights and freedoms. The international community, and particularly the United States, should be standing with the Iranian people in their struggle for justice and, overall, a republic that works, not offering condolences to their oppressors. It's time for Biden and the administration to reassess its stance on Iran. Offering condolences to a terrorist like Raisi is not just a diplomatic misstep, it is a betrayal of the very principles that America stands for. We should be using this moment to push for greater accountability for the Iranian regime, to support the Iranian people in their quest for freedom, and to reaffirm our commitment to standing against tyranny and terror wherever they exist. As an American, I'm deeply disappointed by the government's response. We must demand better from our leaders, or at least our elected officials, because they're hardly leading anything. We must insist that our foreign policy reflects our values and that we never again offer condolences to those who have caused so much damn suffering. The victims of Raisi's regime deserve justice, not empty words of sympathy for their oppressor. It is time to stand firmly on the side of freedom and human rights and to send a clear message that America will not tolerate tyranny in any form. The Biden administration's condolences to the Iran regime are not just inappropriate, they are a stark reminder of a foreign policy that has lost its way and failed. We must hold our leaders accountable and ensure that our action on the global stage reflect the values we do hold dear. Only then can we truly honor the memory of those who have suffered under regimes like Raisi's and stand up for the world where freedom and justice prevail. It may seem lofty or Captain American-ish, but that's my belief. The condolences to Iran's regime is also a profound dishonor to the brave men and women who have fought in the war on terror. These individuals have sacrificed everything to protect our nation and combat the very ideologies that the Iranian regime embodies. How can we, in a good conscience, offer sympathy to a regime that has consistently worked against our interests and fueled the very terror we fight against? Let's not forget the pallets of cash sent to Iran during the Obama administration, an act of appeasement that only emboldened the regime further. This is the same administration that turned a cold shoulder to our ally Israel and its leader Benjamin Netanyahu, undermining one of our strongest alliances in the Middle East. Offering condolences to a terrorist like Raisi is a betrayal to those who have laid down their lives for our safety and security, and it's time for America to stand firm against tyranny and uphold the values for which so many have fought and died and that we pretend to hold dear. President Biden should have known better. But he's too busy pandering for votes and claiming his own personal loss gives him a unique understanding of suffering. The tragic loss of his son, Beau, is indeed heartbreaking, but it does not grant him an exclusive right to comprehend loss and suffering, nor does it justify his administration's actions. The use of his personal tragedy as a shield against criticism is not only distasteful, but also detracts from the genuine grief and sacrifices made by countless other American families who have lost loved ones in the fight against terror. This exploitation of personal grief for political leverage is yet another reason why his administration's actions are so deeply disappointing and offensive. It is imperative that our leaders act with integrity and respect the sacrifices made by all, not just their personal experiences as a political tool. But I guess Biden will do anything to win Michigan after all. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We appreciate it. We'll be back tonight at 7 o'clock. Can't wait to see you. Stop by the Don't Unfriend Me Show at thedumbshow.com. Pick up a shirt, pick up a hat, some coffee, or just stop by and say hello. We'll see you at 7 o'clock. God bless.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show.
I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth.
Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.